What's going to happen next?
Well, I hope that the jury will see the evidence and be able to make a decision. Unfortunately, I don't think that I think Hunter has got a very favorable jury pool, seeing that this is occurring in his home state of Delaware, Biden country. I don't think that we're going to see the same fairness that has occurred with President Donald Trump in his trial. But the evidence, I think that the prosecution has done a very good job of laying out the case that indeed he was on drugs. He was attempting to purchase drugs around the time that he signed the document to purchase the firearm, which is a felony offense. I mean, I think the case is pretty simple, and it's just one of the many things that Hunter Biden is currently being investigated for.
You know what? You're not the only one to analyze this and say that it seems simple and straightforward and a pretty solid case. But, even Republicans are saying this is kind of strange that this is being brought in the first place. There's sort of this trial that's going on inside the courtroom and then the other one that's going on social media and cable news and everywhere else. What do you make of the spectacle around all of this and the whole weaponization that some are saying is happening on both sides?
Yeah, I think that this probably wouldn't have gone to trial if attention had not been drawn to the Attorney General's office and their dealings with Hunter Biden. The judge, because I think that the legislature, that members of the Ways and Means Committee, the IRS whistleblowers were able to bring forward and call attention to some of these activities. I think that that's why we're actually seeing a trial take place. I think that the Attorney General's office was embarrassed by the attempt to try to have a sweetheart deal with Hunter originally, but because that fell apart, they had to proceed with this trial. And this is only one of the charges that he's being investigated for. So we'll see if he goes to trial on the other charges as well.
Yes. Well, President Biden commented earlier this week on what he would do if Hunter Biden was found guilty. We're going to take a listen to that.
Accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is.
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
He was prepared for those questions. He didn't hesitate. Why?
Well, if he wasn't prepared to answer that question, he would have been a fool. But I don't know that I buy it. I don't know that I believe it. We'll see what happens in the coming months after the November election. We'll see, win or lose. Politically, there will be no repercussions for Joe Biden if he pardons his son. So I don't know that I believe his statement, but we'll see.
There's this theory sort of just floating out there in outer space that that Biden would pardon Hunter, and then the political price that he would have to pay for doing that would also be to, in a roundabout way, find a way to pardon former President Trump. Do you think that's something that could ever happen?
I don't know. That this seems to be a very vindictive administration. They're going after everyone. I mean, they're going after anyone that's been connected to Donald Trump. And so I would doubt that they would have the forgiveness or the grace in their heart to try to pardon President Trump.
Okay. Let's take a bird's eye view of, what's going on. It seems like every week we've got a different trial we're covering. There are two other big trials happening during this election cycle. So, of course, we had the hush money trial of former President Trump. We've got Hunter Biden's trial. And then we've got the trial of Senator Bob Menendez that's set to begin as well. So would you say this is kind of unusual for an election year?
It is. It's very an unusual year. Normally you don't see senators, United States senators, collecting gold bars, but it's also very similar to what the Biden administration has been doing. I mean, the Biden family has taken in tens of millions of dollars from different foreign oligarchs, including diamonds. I mean, when you have the son of the vice president of the United States accepting a diamond and then accepting an exact amount funneled into an account for him to purchase a sports car from a Kazakhstani oligarch, that's pretty alarming stuff, and really is on par with what what Menendez has done.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.